After 4 years of reversing US commitments on climate change, the White House is hoping that this two-day summit will help the United States reclaim leadership on the environment. US President Joe Biden doesn't just have to convince the world that the US is serious again, but also Americans who are skeptical that climate change is real. This presents a challenge and an opportunity to invest in the future.
The signs are unmistakable. The science is undeniable. But the cost of inaction keeps mounting. The United States isn't waiting. We are resolving to take action. Not only our federal government, but our cities and our states all across our country. Small businesses, large corporations, American workers in every field.
As expected, Washington promised to reduce carbon levels by 50 to 52% at 2005 levels by 2030. That's a big jump in commitments. And the news came after intense climate diplomacy by US Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry. His meetings in Shanghai with his Chinese counterparts have once again put China and the US on the same path regarding climate. President Xi Jinping surprised the world last September when he pledged China would reach peak carbon emissions before 2030 and net carbon neutrality before 2060. Now he is pledging ambitious targets to reduce coal consumption.
We will strictly control coal-fired power generation projects. We will strictly limit the increase in coal consumption over the 14th five-year plan period and phase it down in the 15th five-year plan period.
Japan also promised deeper cuts, but many nations repackaged previous unambitious targets. India and Australia are just two nations that experts say need to do much more. Europe is by far the most ambitious regional grouping when it comes to climate and have led the Western world during the recent US absence on the issue. But the EU says they need the US and others to do their part too.
Europe wants to be the first climate neutral continent in the world, but to save the climate, we need the world. We need all major economies to take their responsibility and to turn the transition into an opportunity for all.
National competition when it comes to climate change is actually a good thing, harnessing the power of nationalism to solve one of the globe's biggest problems. But there are other problems too. Poorer countries don't want to pay for what developed countries essentially polluted around the world. And the US population is extremely skeptical and, as we know, politically fickle when it comes to the issue of climate change. It's good to have the US back in the game, but the game is far from won. Nathan King, CGTN at the White House.